Hi. We're live, and how you guys doing?
You sure?
Uh-oh.
We might be dead.
Doing?
What the hell?
Wait, did you push the big red button again?
I did. They used a bunch of the same sounds, I guess, that I've already got in my Westerns library. But what I do need to do is see if the cameras are going to be right, and they're not going to be right. Of course, they're not going to be fucking right. Let me pull a Rob Toohey, just fucking go off here. GM cam is me. And switch.
Hey, at least you
That's
can
not.
put cams on.
There we go. That's me. All right, and Willikers would be not Drake. And who else we got? Drake is not Brad. He is Drake.
Looking
Cool.
at the title, there's going to be Noodles.
Do I?
Oh, the title says something about Noodles.
Oh yeah, it's Thursday, man. Noodles Day for Thursday. Londell's already hanging out in the stream. He was thinking that we needed to get on with it. So, let's see. I'm
Well, then he
Drake
needs to
around.
step up.
Hey, just step it up. Did you hear that, Londell? Why can't shit just stay in place? I just don't understand that. There we go. I'll put Brad over here where we can see Father Miguel behind him, and Drake, I'm going to move you there to where we can see old Timmons. And,
But the question is, do we want to see Timmons?
and HG is just HG. We've got no. Let's see, Willikers. There's Willikers.
I was blocking him. Looked like I was wearing a hat.
All right, I think overlay's good to go. Except fuck no.
What'd you do this time? Drake, are you intentionally trying to be a dick on the cam?
I'm always trying to be a dick. What? I don't understand the confusion.
You have a fair
You
point.
took a sip of whatever you were holding. It thought that was part of the background, and like a big chunk you disappeared.
No, I saw him going left and then right, left and
And
then
then
right.
Marbanya was trying to set the camera, and I was moving it around.
Yes.
You are pretty delayed, though, Vin.
Oh, I was watching it on the stream.
That's what I'm saying. I already watched it on the stream like 5 seconds before you did.
Does that put everything in the right place? Hey, looky there. It puts shit in the right place. Isn't that amazing? It's like rocket surgery. Cool. How you guys doing? Is everybody healthy?
I think
Seems
so.
that way.
Well, as healthy as I was before COVID-19, if that has any consolation. I mean,
Health hasn't decreased at all. I don't know how it was in the first.
actually, I think it has decreased a little bit because I've been staying at home and I got a freezer full of food and nothing to do but
Exactly.
freaking munch.
Which is what I was doing just now.
Yep.
Yep.
I took all the snacks away from my desk, though. I took them all downstairs, so I have to at least go down the stairs.
Well, I get your exercise
probably
going. Get your
why-
snack. Sorry, Benno.
I was just saying that's probably a wise choice.
All right, I'm trying to get some Windows management, not in FG, but just on my PC in particular. Cool. All right. I think we're good. Where did we leave off last week? I did not get a chance to do, and that's crazy. You know, they say, oh, work's going to slow down for everybody. Well, maybe paying the people to work may slow down for everybody, but for me, if you're in the IT business, it's a pretty good time to be in business right now. But everybody's trying to get hooked up remotely.
This is true.
Except the bad part is it's people who hardly ever use a computer to begin with, or else they would have already been hooked up remotely. So,
That's true.
so we got that. All right, so I guess we need to initialize some stuff, do we?
Well, I don't think we need. Oh, I was gonna say I don't think we need bennies, but
Don't say that. There could be fun.
no,
Shuffle
wrong
that
game.
deck, shuffle this deck, and reset adventure card. And reset fate chips. Okay. Marshall's got his fate chips. You guys got your fate chips. Last week, let's see. You guys finally found one of the only two members of the Explorer Society left in Shanfan right now. And who was it? Dillinger.
He wanted us to go. Yeah, he wanted us to find his partner, the one that we originally were looking for.
Right. Right. The one that
His
Lacey
wife.
O'Malley said go find him. Roderick Pennington Smythe.
And weren't we looking for a description or a picture of him or something?
We
He
have.
his name makes him sound uptight.
Pennington Smythe. You have to keep your teeth clenched together.
Roderick Pennington Smythe. It's not a big picture, but it's a picture.
Looks more like the Extraordinary Gentleman. What was his name? Sean Connery played him.
Oh yeah, the big game hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does kind of remind you of that, doesn't he?
I don't have one of Dillinger though.
I think he's short. He's a little guy, like this tall.
That's why he has to have so many bodyguards,
Who, Dillinger?
because of his shortness, apparently.
Didn't have a lot of money either, because those were some pretty crappy bodyguards.
Yeah, and he admitted all as much. So
we were gonna go like stake out that place too.
yeah, you guys been talking
That was
through the
kind
week
of
over on Discord, and I heard a couple of ideas that you had. So tell me how you'd like to proceed with that, or is there other things you'd like to do?
No, Timmons this is right up his alley. He likes to do shit like this. He likes to sneak around and peek over walls and look in windows, watch people
But
go
definitely
by.
need some information.
Wait, are you trying to say that Timmons is a piece?
Only when he's in a nearby where he can look in a window. It's the only time.
Well, I think Dillinger told you where to find Big Ears Tam. This guy's name. Let's read some shit back here.
Some shite.
Some shite. We're gonna read some shite. So yeah, Dillinger doesn't offer a reward. He believes any gentleman would volunteer to seek out the captain for the good of all. He will, however, offer to pay the group's exorbitant dues to the Explorer Society if they bring the captain back alive. Some of you decided to try to haggle.
What we clearly need is more persuasion rolls.
No, they just need to stop being so damn greedy.
The two aren't
No.
mutually exclusive.
It wasn't greed at all. It was practicing haggling with an English guy.
Yeah, with an English guy, I see. To tell us about the
They have a
artifact.
tip over lip thing going on after all.
Where should we start looking? See, Big Ears Tam is the leader of the Shanfan Triad. He's almost certainly the one who took the captain. His home is on the Ever Triumphant Trail, which runs north out of Shanfan up into northern California. It's the main road leading north out of Shanfan. I'm not sure you can just walk up and demand to talk to him, and I wouldn't try breaking in either. Tam has more than just thugs guarding his grounds. It might be best to do a little legwork first and see if those streets have heard. See if those in the streets have heard of the captain's abduction.
Well, I think HG said that he was wanting to get in with the guys in the casino or something or another. Try that again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Miguel wanted to actually hit the street, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm thinking also that perhaps I could talk to my friend or the people at the hotel and see if I can send a message to this Big Ears Tam and see if I can request a meeting for assorted paperwork things as a distraction for us to investigate that.
And a way to get in. At least check.
What, Benno?
At least check the place out.
That's what Timmons wants to do. He's going to go check the place out. He's going to go stake it out. He's going to go check it around. He's going to go kick the walls. He's going to peek over the fence.
But it seemed like a good idea not to just show up at the door and ask, but maybe to request an appointment.
Yeah, request an audience.
Yeah, if it's anything too charismatic, like Timmons is probably not the person to be doing it. He's like, hey, we're here to break in.
What are you talking about? You're here to do party planning.
Maybe we could put Timmons in there, and then he immediately has to go and use the restroom. Can Timmons make a look on his face like he really needs to use the restroom?
I could just shit myself.
Probably important to realize that most places this period in time, maybe New York City might have some indoor plumbing. Everybody else uses a water closet and they dump the shit out of the bucket in the streets.
Don't fall in the ditch in San Fan.
He's in charge of the city. He might have some good hookup, or at least a nice bucket.
So your hookup was Rodrigo?
Yeah. Store owner.
I don't know if he's your hookup. Okay, so Rodrigo. You want to talk to him about what?
Either him or ask him or the hotel people, see if they know a way to request an appointment or an audience with Mr. Tam.
He says, Padre, what do you want to go messing around with that man for?
Well, I suspect he might have something to do with the disappearance of a friend of mine, but I definitely don't want to go out and say that outright because he's sounds like he's not the nicest fellow. So, if I can go talk to him for unrelated business, then perhaps we can have a look around in the process, you see.
Well, Padre, I'm sure he is the one responsible for many a person's disappearance. But, that is dangerous ground you are treading on. But if you must...
Well, yeah. It seems a whole lot better than my friend Mr. Timmons' idea. He said something about trying to jump over the gate.
Oh, that is a
terrible idea.
I wasn't
talking about
idea.
Jumping over it. I'm just talking about peeking over it.
You see, if you're standing here with him, Timmons, you see Rodrigo cross himself. That's a terrible idea.
Maybe I'll sell it. Maybe I can. Timmons gets a Spanish accent all of a sudden. What the hell was that? He's like, do you think they buy tacos? So we can sell tacos out front. Look in the gate. Get a taco stand.
Aye, aye,
That
aye.
might be another way. Maybe enough tacos, but we have some sort of a restaurant application form. We need to make sure that we get the
I just
proper.
really craving tacos, man. Just to borrow a taco stand for the day. You don't want me to act like I got to take a shit. That's gonna do it, all right.
All right. Well, I will make some, but not until Tuesday.
Tacos Tuesday.
No.
So let's go down there and look at this place and see what it looks like. Go check out the block and eyeball it. Not go in, but just kind of see where it's at and what it looks like.
You get down there, and it looks almost like a medieval uh, compound. I mean, there's a stone wall and towers.
Is there a moat?
And there's no
It's a
moat.
moat.
On the
It's a
north
moat of
side,
poop.
though, the Great Maze, the edge of the land actually curves back around to the east. So the north side of this compound just drops away right into the Great Maze below it, and you can kind of get a look through the gates as you walk by, and you can see it's full of uh, water gardens. What do you call those, pagodas? Uh, all through it. There's several different buildings out there, and you see what could be considered no less than a small army, very small army, but it'd be a death wish to try to get into here, or if you got caught anyway.
Yeah, the key would be not getting caught.
There seemed to be any traffic coming and going from the grounds.
Oh yeah,
Delivery boys.
oh yeah. There's traffic going and coming. And you do note there's some deliveries that come. I mean, if you stake the place out for an afternoon or whatever, you're going to see, yeah, there's wagons come through with big, salt cured hams hanging off the side of it, and crates full of, bushel baskets full of produce and stuff.
So this compound, is it like 4 acres, 5 acres?
2 acres maybe.
2?
Yeah,
And
so
the
maybe,
house, big
maybe.
mansion, or
Yeah, hang on just a second. I'll find a. It's not the best. All right, so not party sheet. Thank you. Get out of here. Sign
Hey there,
restrictions.
Tim. You've been driving them boats pretty effectively lately. I wonder if you can drive a little one through the water there, and we can get a look at the backside.
Now,
I want to jerry rig up a couple transmitters. And then I'm going to wait for one of the, I don't know, someone that looks more like a thug or higher up gangster type. And then try to hit him with it.
a transmitter.
Yeah, I'm going to use my jerry rig ability to cast Mind Rider. So I basically hit him with the transmitter. We make an opposed roll, my magic versus his spirit. If he wins, he senses it. And then at some point there, I can turn it on and see through his eyes and hear through his ears for 3 minutes total.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. So, you guys see HG, he gets into one of these weird, funky, you see him start pulling shit out of his clothes and stuff. And he's twisting, he's putting things together, and he's talking to himself the whole time, of course. And you see this pretty good size Chinese guy going through there, and there is a mountain of a Chinaman with him. Um, let's see, Brad, give me a Father McGill. Give me a common knowledge or street smarts roll, and the rest of you guys
that's a
can as
sumo
well.
wrestler.
Oh, Londell's been chosen to cook tonight. See you, Londell. Have a good one. Yeah. So notice rolls. All right. So Timmons not a problem.
I thought you said streetwise.
Either one.
Street
Or not notice. Streetwise or common knowledge.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
not
what I
a
rolled.
not a problem for
Timmons
okay.
rolled a common knowledge of an 11. Holy crap.
Shit.
I got
So
13 on the D4.
Timmons, HG, and HG. It would make sense that you would Timmons and Jeb. You notice this big mountain of a Chinese guy. Looks similar to someone you've seen before. That
The ogre one on top of the train.
Chinese ogre. That's right.
Timmons remembers him well.
And you see him walking in beside this wagon, and he's standing on the ground, but he's probably from the bottom of his breasts up above the wagon, walking in with him. And HG, do you want to tag the driver of the wagon, or do you want to try to tag this ogre?
We'll go with the ogre.
You're going to go with the ogre, okay. Let me pull up an NPC here real quick. Alright, against his smarts roll?
Spirit.
Spirit roll, okay.
Spirit roll.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, dude.
Yeah, he's
Was
got
that a fly?
A bug bit me. A bug bit
tattoos
me.
all over his face and stuff, and all down his neck. So you tag him with this whatever it is.
Let's call it a Weird West tracker.
He
Yeah.
bugged him.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a
what about the HGPS? The HG.
see, there you go.
APS.
Let's say for the others, they give it as a tiny transmitter or a flying eyeball, but you can't see it. So I don't get how I have like a flying eyeball following somebody around that hears what they hear, but they don't notice it. Nobody.
So you guys don't even notice what he's doing. HG's just over here mumbling a little bit, and then you guys see this wagon and this great big old Chinese ogre walking in to the front gates of this place. And they disappear on the inside, but you see HG, he looks up and he sees that wagon and that ogre, and you see him, it takes 4 or 5 steps, and you see him throw his hand out in front of him, and he's just giggling the whole time. Then he pulls a flask out of his pocket and starts drinking again. And HG, they disappear through the gate. You can kick it on now or later, whatever you want to do.
I'll give it a few minutes.
Okay.
It's only a few minutes.
So you give it a few minutes and you turn this thing on, and I'm just going to show you this. This is basically Tam's estate. And this came with the, I could not get the grid to, well, I didn't do the grid on this, come to think of it. So somebody didn't get the grid to line up, but it's all right.
Yeah, it looks like it's just off. Looks like it's
Yeah.
just off. Realigned or something.
No, it's, because it's on in the middle
No,
and it's off
it's-
to the left and right.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so it's a big place, big place. But if you can imagine, some of the Japanese, Chinese compounds where big Chinese families, Japanese families lived back in the 19th century. Beautiful, beautiful ground. And you see people all over the place, and each one of them seems to have one of those trucker chained wallets that says "bad motherfucker" on it.
So with the towers, do they have like people up there looking around?
Yep.
Armed people looking around?
You do see some with weapons. HG, more than not, you see several of them that don't have weapons. But you get in there, you see some of these guys sparring in martial arts doing some training and stuff.
It'd be fairly well acquainted to that. So any of the buildings look to be particularly guarded? Like guards on the inside as well?
Well, there's
As
people
opposed to
almost
just the outer
everywhere,
wall.
but the wall has the guards around it, and then yeah, you get up to this big building up front, and it looks to be heavily guarded.
Based on internal knowledge as far as digging in, do these buildings look like they would have basement levels to them? Or are they set up off the ground?
Looks like they're set up off
Like
the
a
ground.
typical, let's like a typical Japanese style beyond posts.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe Chinese design would have been similar.
Yeah, they had the soft ground
Yep.
there.
Paper walls and yeah.
So none of the other buildings have guards positioned at their doors, just standing there.
But there doesn't really need to be because there's people everywhere.
Oh, I know. Well, if they're keeping prisoners somewhere, that's why I figured that building would be.
No, you don't see anything that looks like it would
Only
be a place to hold prisoners.
Have you seen anyone coming and going that's not Chinese?
Couple.
Timmons wants to follow one that's not Chinese.
Okay. So you start following them back down towards the city, and looks like it's a tailor. He goes into his tailor shop.
I'll go in behind him.
All right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, can I help you?
When I go in,
Can I help you?
it looked like a pretty nice place to get a suit. I was thinking I could use a suit.
He looks at you. Your dirty old road clothes. Have you ever been fitted for a suit before?
One time, but it was in purgatory, and we didn't end up dying again, so
Okay.
I need to be refitted.
I see. Well, is there anything
He'll
that
pull out
suits your
a
fancy?
wad of cash.
Oh. Okay, come right this way, sir.
I need shoes, hat, the whole gambit.
Fantastic. We can fix you right up. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I got an important meeting in the morning.
So this guy, he brings out this nice tweed,
Tweed.
with a plaid pattern on it, you know.
Ew.
And he's like, this will make the perfect pants and jacket, and we'll just go with a solid color on the shirt. Yes, this will work right here. And he just kind of fits y'all up here, and I don't know, whatever suit a nice suit costs. I don't even know if that's in the items guide over there. But I'd say back at this period of time, probably $30 or $40.
I'll get it covered. Yeah, I took $100 in his pocket.
Oh, thank you, sir. Let me know if there's anything I can ever do for you. I appreciate it. So you spend a few hours there.
Yeah, and I want to get some information because I'm going to be acting like
Okay.
I got a meeting with Mr. Big Ears. What's his
Gotcha.
name?
Big Ears
Tam.
Tam.
22 ears?
Big Ears Tam.
Big Ears Tams. So he's going to kind of work in like that conversation and see if he can get any information out of him. Like maybe if somebody's being held or if there's going to be a party coming up or whatever information he might have. I don't think Timmons is very good at persuasion per se, but bribery? Yeah.
Bribery? Do you have a bribery skill?
Well, I could bribe him with his own money. I could steal his money and give it back to him. I got thievery.
So talking, I'll tell you like this. talking with this guy for probably about the 3 hours that he nips and tucks and stitches and you learn that all he's just a tailor. He says, "Oh yeah, yes, I do some work for Mr. Tam as well. Yes, he is remarkably well fit for a man of his age. Of course, I can't really tell how old he is. You know what I mean?
We think he's gonna like this suit because I got a meeting with him in the morning.
Oh, it's all the rage back in New York. This is what is in style, Mister
Simmons.
Simmons.
Hmm.
Simmons. Or
From the Simmons and Simmons,
Th-
you know.
Thimmons. Thimmons. Okay.
A little more lisp in the S.
Simmons.
Thimmons.
You're getting it. You're getting it.
Okay. Okay.
Do you think I should bring a gift?
That is a Chinese way. Uh, I'm not
What'd
sure
you
what your
bring?
business is there. Well, I
Oh,
bring
I'm
this
in the
gift.
business of making sure things get done.
Oh. Mm. He just gets real quiet when you say this.
I'd probably have a couple of guns sitting over there on the duffel bag next to the door when I came in.
When you say this, he says he kind of pauses for a second. You can hear a skip in his vocalization. He just kind of trips over his words for a second. He says, "So you work for Mr. Tam?"
Not yet. That's the proposition, though. See, we're the detective agency, and we want to see if he has any need of our services.
Oh, okay. And then he lightens up again. He starts talking to you. He basically tells you that as I don't know, you're probably not really coming out and asking him what's the compound like and all that stuff, but I mean, he tells you that all I do is I go in there and I
Try
measure him.
not to.
Yeah, he goes in there and he measures them and he can tell you, yeah, it's a nice place and stuff, but without you coming out and just blatantly saying how much security and stuff is there, maybe throwing a red flag, I'm not sure what it is you want to say to this guy.
The information that he's trying to gather from the guy is um, the formality of setting up a business or setting up a meeting, and because this guy's obviously had a meeting, he goes there probably on several occasions. So that kind of ordeal. So do you have your receptionist contact him and set up an appointment?
I
How
don't
those boots look pretty nice.
I don't have a receptionist. I just kind of I got in there because my reputation precedes me. I am the finest suit maker in California, sir.
You do a nice job, that's for sure.
That's
So when
correct.
you do you fit him for his suits like this? Everybody gets fit like this, even big ears.
Well, yes, everyone's custom made. Now let me ask you: Do you do you wear to the left or to the right?
Well, now that depends on who I'm looking at, but it's usually just to the left.
Okay, so you see him. He's down there measuring your inseam, and he kind of pushes up on
Now,
your nads a little bit, and he pushes them over to the left, and gets it. There we go. Okay, and he writes down this measure.
he's gonna hear the hammer kick back on my Colt 45.
I'm sorry. I know that's most uncomfortable, but I've got to make you
You
uncomfortable
gotta
now to
want a
make you.
fella before you get up there with them
Well,
pins and needles.
A little warning next time, maybe.
okay. So you guys are back at Timmons takes off. HG is mumbling to himself over here. And Father, you and Jeb are just kind of looking at each other like, what in the hell is going on? And HG's kind of leaned over against the wall, drinking, drunk, mumbling to himself. Timmons, he just takes off following this guy down the street and disappears. And the longer you guys kind of sit around and wait, Timmons don't come back. He's gone. An hour goes by. Uh, you know, 2 hours goes by. And I guess Wicked has stepped away right now, or I would. He probably can't hear me. I don't know if he was wearing his headphones or not. Um, so he is kicking on the Zoom and sees all this stuff, and I mean, basically, it'd probably be pretty tough to break in here, and if you did and you got caught, you'd all be dead. I mean, it'd be over with. But trying to be deceitful and get in here, maybe, perhaps.
That's a good idea there, Sheriff. I don't know where Timmons went. I hope he didn't get lost or fall into the sea. There are a lot of cliffs around.
He is known to wander sometimes, but he'll be all right.
Well,
So,
perhaps we should go ask around then, like you said about this Pennington Smythe Fell.
where would you like to go?
You think might be a good idea to go there, Sheriff?
That's a good question. Can you bring up the map of the
Of what? Shanfan?
Shanfan? Thank you. Not sure why it wasn't up. I think you said we were towards the northern. Is that correct? Like up near Splinterville?
It is, no, it's the road coming out of, see this road that leads north? So the map is kind of kicked around a little bit.
Okay.
That road is called the Ever Triumphant Trail, and it runs north. And his estate is like right.
Yeah, it's probably some of those buildings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking down over the maze.
Well, since we're right next to the waterfronts here in Prawn Valley, that sounds like a good place to start.
You get down into Prawn Valley, you guys take off walking. HG, so that I don't know if you're even coherent and paying attention to these guys around you, but if you are, Timmons took off walking, following some white guy that came out of the estate, and he takes off. He's been gone about an hour or so now. And
Yeah, I would have said, "Hey, I'm going to follow him."
okay,
One before.
okay.
But
And then you see, you kind of hear Jeb Hexman and Father Miguel saying, "Hey, we go talk to somebody down here at the waterfront," and they take off for town. So you just gonna hang out here? You going back with them, or what are you doing? Or is there anything specific you want to see? If basically this guy who you're following, they go in and they
yeah, I would
offload
just go
groceries.
see him flip. Yeah. And then he leaves like he was somewhere else.
it's the big guy's grocery though. That's all his food. He's got to eat. We got to eat food. It's my groceries.
Sven, here with holy shit, Sven! Did you cash your fucking quarterly bonus in or what? Damn.
$2.
He's always throwing them hundreds of biddies around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No, I'll just tag along with them for one.
All right, so yeah, they leave, and so you take off. You guys head down to the waterfront. What are you looking for down here? I tell you what, give me streetwise rolls. There is a negative on it. I'll tell you that.
Even with common knowledge.
Well, it's a streetwise roll, and you have to understand Chinese.
Okay, then
Any
that's
dialect. It's not you, yeah.
not me.
And it's not Willikers and Father Miguel. Yeah. How do I say this? You don't really find out anything directly related to the disappearance of the captain, but you do find out that And Father Miguel, since you spent some time in Shanfan, you would know how these triads operate. That basically, let me see if I can find something on the leaders of the Shanfan triads certainly know how to please an audience of exhausted miners desperate for entertainment. Triads set up as follows. Now, this would be common knowledge to you, Father Miguel, because you spent time here before. But there's the big boss, which would be Big Ears Tam. And reporting to the big boss are a number of big brothers. About 6 or
Lieutenant,
7 of them.
basically.
Yeah, lieutenants. There you go. But they call them big brothers. And there's about 6 or 7 of them. And each runs a gang of thugs known as rascals. And each of those big brothers and his rascals controls a section of the city. And they constantly jockey for position. There's backstabbing. There's tit for tat favor exchanges, and it's kind of like, if it's dirty and underhanded and deceitful, then depending on who it is and who it was done to, they may accept it and cheer him on for his efforts, or they may kill him. And that's how the triads operate here. Okay, so each big brother controls a section of the city's rascals collect the triad's cut of all activities in the area, kind of like tax collectors. They turn the dough over to Big Brother, who keeps part and gives the rest to the big boss. This is where the killing comes in. If a big brother can't protect his turf from his neighbor's rascals, he loses face. And for a triad gangster, losing face is the beginning of the end. First, other men's rascals are rude to him. Then his own rascals are shot down in the street. Next thing he knows, Big Brother is face down in a plate of noodles, a blade in his back. So that's kind of the way this operates. And as you're downtown and you're not really asking the Chinese that you're around speaking to, but just listening to them talk, you spend a couple hours down here and you pick up that there's some movement going on in the triad right now. There's some jockeying of positions, and things are a little more tense than usual. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Well, if things are a little tense, as I'm led to believe based on my past experience living here, perhaps maybe we could work with one of these middlemen to find out some information. Certainly, if we could bring some, I believe they call it shame and dishonor upon their rivals, if we can help them with that, that would give them a better opportunity, and maybe we scratch their back and they scratch ours,
Yeah, well, I think we need to let HG know that, because I think he got that information.
Yeah, I believe he could probably beat one up in a fight. He seems like he's that kind of
Drunken monk.
fellow.
Agreed.
Or at the very least, he could, he or Mr. Timmons there, or is it Mr. Simmons? I don't know. It's hard to tell when he's talking. But do tell him I said that. He's
I try
nice,
not to make fun of him, but it's kind of hard to at times.
Are you
It's
making
okay,
fun of
because
my
at least Jesus loves
down
him.
the street? Don't make fun of my let's begin down the street.
We could perhaps speak with, if we could narrow it down, we could go have a word with one of these middlemen, the big brothers, I believe they're called, and perhaps we can help them out against their rivals. Nothing violent, probably.
Well, let's do this. We'll say that Timmons, about 3 hours goes by, you've had a suit fitted, you get back up there, everybody's gone, you don't know where they're at, so you head back to the Jade. You catch a rickshaw ride back to the Jade. and this little Chinese guy pulling you along on the cobblestones. Um,
Hey, can you give me taco? Is that taco?
oh, no
Taco
taco, no
stand.
taco. He does. He just looks at you. He doesn't even
$1
understand.
taco.
He doesn't even understand.
Taco.
And
Trying to get
we will say
taco
that
Mexican
all over my
wonton.
new food anyway.
we'll say that you guys all make it back eventually by the evening. By the way, let's update the calendar. Let's see where we are. That was 8 a.m. on Sunday that we left off last week, I guess. So let's say by 4 in the afternoon, you all kind of head back to the Jade. And you can kind of talk over what your possible plans might be, your ideas.
Timmons shows up in a new suit.
Yes.
Wow, looking sharp, Tim.
That fella I followed was a tailor.
That is quite fancy.
You were following a fellow?
The fellow that came out of the
Oh,
compound.
right.
He was a tailor.
Sorry, I ducked around the corner when I saw HG looking like he was throwing something. I didn't want to be associated.
I thought it was a booger.
I don't know
I
what
thought he
the hell he.
flicked the booger on that big guy. Well, so anyways, apparently, if you want to get in to have a meeting with Mr. Big Ears, you have to set up, and he just goes on in the details of what the shopkeeper told him about making the meeting and Timmons' outlook on how to talk to the Big Ears guy. It doesn't sound like it's very very smart idea.
Not for
But that's
Timmons
Timmons'
to talk.
idea. And like
Not
we could just go in and ask him, can we work for you? That's Timmons.
All right, HG, Darren, I see you just sat back. Darren, wicked. I see you just sat back down there. What I did was I said, okay, you guys, eventually 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. So I'll just do this. Give you guys a timestamp there for your notes.
Oh, we missed the 4th of July? Damn it.
I guess we did.
It was 2 days ago. That's the night we went out drinking.
Yeah. Is it July? I thought it was like June.
hell if I know. I haven't been doing my notes the past few
We
sessions.
did do
You know
spend a
what?
month.
It is June.
Well,
It's Friday, June 6th, because I jumped to July instead of June. Yep.
Oops.
Yep. So here we go.
and calendar, the hot, the
So
pages.
not Sunday.
At least somebody was paying attention.
I just heard a
Yep.
communicator.
Yep. There's a communicator. Going.
Sorry.
Let's take a quick break because I got to take a return. Guys, it's been crazy. I've got a judge that's calling me and he's needing some help tomorrow, and I need to arrange some things. So I'm going to try to keep it to about 5 minutes or so, but we'll go ahead and take an early break, 10 minutes if that's okay.
Sounds good.
Got to
All
do
right.
business calls. So.
Got food working.
All right, 10 minutes. We will be right back. Sven, stick around, buddy, and heckle the group. We'll be back here shortly.
Or come back in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. 9 minutes, 30 seconds. See you guys.
We're back early.
Hello.
Timmons did say come back in 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's exactly what we just did. We came back in 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Awesome. What I just realized listening to this, the Western music theme that they've got in Sirenscape, it's the exact same collection that I got off of YouTube. So
That is funny.
Yeah, that's royalty-free stuff.
Mhm. Wow, I'm like 35 seconds behind on the stream.
That's that 56K connection.
Somebody wants to see rocks fall tomorrow.
Mm. Oh.
I jest, of course.
Oh, I bet you just gave a teaser, didn't you? You're gonna drop a bunch of rocks on Storm's ass.
Not just Storm.
Awesome. Okay. So we are back. And I guess
But
you
are we
guys
in
are.
black?
What's your plan? What do you think you're gonna try to get away with here? It sounds like you're gonna try to fuck over old Big Ears Tam any way you look at it.
Well, isn't that kind of the goal? I mean, if he
Well,
does
it's
actually
fair.
have Smite, if he actually does have Smite, he's going to be pissed off that we're trying to free him.
I mean, it's more likely that he dumped the body into the sea and the sharks are eating him, but, you know, we need to find that out.
Well,
Well,
wasn't it like the big part stopping him from going after this powerful thing?
yeah, the amulet.
So, I mean,
Of
we
Rahasha.
really just need to get the
Hashimir.
amulet and put it out of his reach. I mean, if we just take him out and they know who we are, they're gonna come after us. It's not like the next guy is gonna forgive it.
That's why I'm wondering if we could work with one of the middlemen against another one, because he's likely positioning himself to take over eventually. They all probably want to. So, you know,
Yeah, if we
avoid everyone being out together.
could get in good with one of the lieutenants.
So have we checked out to see if he sent an expedition out after this thing? Talk to people around the gates or something like that. Are there people already out looking for it?
Are you asking us or Marv?
Well, just as a general group question, like, I don't think we've looked at that, and they might already be on the way to find it if they've already got this guy.
Well, if they have the guy and did talk, he's dead.
Doesn't mean we should let him get the amulet then.
Well, we still don't know that he even has Smite, or if he's even going after the amulet, even though that does seem pretty sure.
I thought we did know he wanted he was after the amulet. We just don't know if, I mean, if he doesn't have Smite, then he probably followed him out of town. I'm just saying maybe we should ask around and see if a bunch of this guy's troops, goons left town looking for somebody or something. They would have been pretty well packed up if they're heading out into the desert.
Makes sense. See if there's any provision sellers, suppliers around Red Lantern Town who outfitted a British fellow recently for long-term travel, or whoever looks the most British could wander around pretending that he's their brother.
I think
I
HG
just
was
say
meaning,
my name is Timmons Simmons.
I think
Wait, I had to do it like. I just say my name's Timmons Simmons. See, it doesn't have the same sound. It just doesn't work.
I think HG was meaning Tam sending out his men to look for it, or to look for Smythe.
Well, we don't know what the thing is, where it's at. I mean, we have no clues whatsoever on that portion. The only clue we have is that
It's an amulet.
Pennington Smythe is in the compound. I mean, that's about the only.
No,
We don't
we're
even
not
know
even
he's
sure
in
of
the
that.
compound,
Yeah, we're not even sure if he's been captured.
right? Is there?
He just went out to hide this and never came back. But Dillinger thinks that that Tam got him. That's what Dillinger thinks. Is it the truth? Don't know.
We don't know yet.
Well, this Pennington Smythe, does he live here?
He's at least been staying here for a while.
These
I mean, did he live in the place that burnt down?
Yeah, I just assumed he lived at the old place.
they were
Yeah.
staying at the, well. It's a see. That's the thing about the Explorers Society is that it's a great big guild hall kind of, and if you're in the society and you come to Shanfan, you've got a place to stay. But these guys they're world continent hoppers. They hop all over the place.
Sheriff, oh, Lacey, yeah. Do you have a way to get in contact with this fella?
I know he works for the Tombstone, but that's about it.
I just wonder
It's
if
in the telegraph.
we could perhaps do that. I wonder perhaps we can ask him about this Mr. Dillinger fellow to see if he is a trustworthy individual, because perhaps he is doing something. We got to make sure that he is not lying.
I mean, in the best of circumstances, the telegraph's going to take a couple days. Do we think he got a couple days?
Well, we can work on other situations in the meantime, but we could go send him a telegram. And
We should send Mr. Tuya the telegraph, tell him that the Devil's Posse needs to talk to him. We have a business proposition. That'll only take a little bit.
Telegraph for Big Ears Tam. Telegraph.
Candygram for Mogo.
we could go in. We could do both, or certainly investigate otherwise. Perhaps HG could, run into some individuals. He seems to have all sorts of crazy ideas.
I think the only way we're going to find out if he's in there is if we go look around.
I agree, but just in case, I think we should perhaps send a telegraph to this Lacey fellow and ask about this Dillinger fellow.
That's okay. That sounds good. I
And
ain't
then
good with words, so you can write it up.
Then maybe we can ask some of the townsfolk in the Red Lantern town if they saw the what's his face crap.
Pennington Smythe.
Yeah, Smythe.
So like
They saw Smythe leaving town, or what direction, or something. Might be another.
yeah,
avenue
well,
to
like
invest.
I asked the Stuffer Shack guys or somebody that's here every day, like outside selling whatever they sell on the street. Those guys that get here before the butt crack of dawn and set up their little shop. Got the puppets, whatever.
Only if it's a puppet of
somebody,
stripe.
is there somebody like that we can question? Throw a couple bucks and see if they know anything.
Street performers and whatnot.
Well, somebody that's here like every day that sees the coming and goings out that gate.
Out of Tam's Gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, I thought you were talking about Dillinger. What the hell's his name?
No.
His name is, what the hell was it? Rutherford Ellington Dillinger.
Rutherford Ellington Dillinger. You gonna say it like you pooping?
First, say it
Rutherford
like
Ellington Dillinger. Yep. So you want to send a telegram
Lacey.
by telegraph to Lacey O'Malley at the Tombstone Epitaph, and you want to ask him what?
If he's familiar with an
No,
associate.
I want to hear it. I want you to tell me what it is you want me to send. Stop. And
Oh,
be specific with it. Stop.
now stop it. Stop. All right,
What's
give
the
me a second.
maximum words?
People,
20 words, like message? 20 words?
yeah, people typically keep it down to 2 or 3 sentences.
It's a discount price if it's under 20. Every word under 20, save $1. I don't know. Telegraph's kind of expensive back then, too.
Yeah, and they've got to hop from person
Couple
to person.
bucks.
So.
Well, you probably know somebody in the train industry. That's usually where the telegraphs go down, the train line.
I would probably use his full name instead of just Dillinger.
Rutherford Ellington Dillinger. I wonder how that comes across on teletype. Like,
Okay, so you send that telegraph off to the Tombstone Epitaph. Attention, Lacey O'Malley. You guys have got that done. That's off. It cost somebody $1.
Timmons hasn't gone to the bank yet. He'll pay for it.
I got it.
I just spent $100 on this here suit.
Yeah, I tossed a silver dollar.
When did we leave? Was it Kansas? When did we leave Kansas? That was the last time Timmons went to the bank.
It's been a while. I'm sure you've been to the bank.
It's been at least
when
a
we
month.
were in that year. I know we had that year downtime or something once we got to Colorado.
Timmons already spent all that. That's the wagons and all the shit on the wagon and business license and 2 mules.
Well, I'm sure there's a bank in Colorado.
That's what. There's a bank here in San Fran. San Fran.
Bank here.
You can't say that.
San Fran. Timmons is trying to say it. San Fran. San Fran. Yeah, if we need some money, I know I got at least a month in the bank, maybe 2.
Well, so was I thinking. I wonder how we might get in touch with any of those middlemen.
Hey, maybe we could buy some like opium and then try to sell it back to him.
What?
I'm
we
not
could buy some
good idea.
opium, like 10 pounds of opium, and then
I
sell it
don't-
back to 2 years.
I don't condone this idea at all.
I'm not sure about this.
Well, we're not actually. I mean, we're buying it and we're giving it back, so it's kind of like
Yeah, and we'd
distributing
look
it.
at it, and we'd be looked at as if they didn't kill us.
Looked at as what?
Yeah, they might just kill.
Fools.
Oh, well, that's why I got a new suit just in case I die.
Man, you've been
Make it
traveling with
easy
Timmons
on
for
the-
a year and a half, and you're worried about looking like a fool now? What the hell's wrong with you? And H.G. Willikers, you have been
Did he
traveling
say
with
fool?
H.G. Willikers.
He said fool. That's a
and
wrong.
Timmons.
That's a wrong. That's the word you're not supposed. The fool. Look like a fool. We all been pretty foolish. We went to purgatory together. That's pretty foolish.
We went
Perdition.
twice.
Purgatory, perdition. It's on the border.
It's in the.
It's on the edge.
There's a perdition in every state. Perdition, Missouri. Perdition, Tennessee. Yeah.
Is there one in Tennessee?
I don't know. You should know that.
There's 2 in
I don't know
Florida.
all of the towns.
You should know every town in Tennessee. Yeah, there's a
Oh, like
Frankenstein,
hell I
Missouri.
should.
Frankenstein,
About-
Missouri. Yep.
About the only towns that I know in Tennessee are the ones that I've driven through going to Virginia.
All right, so sent your telegraph off. You guys are still sitting around going, "How are we going to get in there? What do you know?" Somebody
That's
said,
the question.
send a telegraph to him.
Stevens. We can send him a telegraph and tell him the Devil's Posse Detective Agency has a opportunity for them.
Job proposition.
Job proposition.
You should probably let myself or Padre speak.
Yeah,
No,
'cause
no offense.
I might slip up like I normally do. Just tell him whatever I'm thinking.
You need to look like you're the owner of it and the one that runs it, but we'll be answering all the questions. And
I got an idea. He pulls out a scarf and he ties it around his neck. I'm mute. I can't talk.
hey, that's good.
but can he stay in character?
He tightens it up a little bit more. I can't breathe either.
Deb reaches over and unties it. Don't choke yourself.
HG, you got any input
The
on
only
this?
way it's gonna work.
Yeah, I still think perhaps our best bet would be possibly aligning with one of the lieutenants, or possibly replacing the lieutenant with HG.
I don't
an
speak
idea.
orange. I can't help you.
I doubt he'd allow anyone who's not Chinese as a lieutenant or anything like that.
Well, you
I was more just
would.
going to
I
go
mean,
and talk to people with my skills. Like I would be more of an outside contractor, probably. Ish.
but still, I think that might be a way to get on the good side of at least somebody in the Triad organization. You know, helping them out.
Move your mic up like an inch or two. There you go.
But you know, whether or not we actually replace one of the lieutenants or just get on one, you know, the lieutenant's good side, I think it would be a good way in.
I have been thinking about how we might do something like that and not hurt anyone in the process. Now, Mr. HG over here is quite good at exploding all the things, as I have seen. What if perhaps he used his mind talents to rig up some sort of explosion under the walls of the compound? Obviously, the Mr. Tam will not like this. If we can then blame it on one of these lieutenants trying to come after him, perhaps we could work against this fellow.
That's an interesting idea.
That is interesting.
I mean, we'd have
So
to
you
have
wanted to start a Cold War?
there.
Is that what you want to do?
I
No, we
believe
wanna-
there's already a sort of Cold War. I want to.
These walls must come down.
We could take out the worst of the worst this way and make things better for everyone. We just need to find out which one is the worst.
Well, I figured, you know, best case scenario, or not best case, but worst case scenario, it at least causes a distraction enough that we can possibly get inside, poke about. At the very least, that's what I'm thinking. I kind of like this idea. But we might need to get more information on the different lieutenants to see which one would be best to blame on. And then figure out how to leave evidence.
Well, we could start spreading rumors because we know here that Mr. Simmons is, or is it Mr. Simmons? I don't know. My friend here, he is very good at mentioning things. So perhaps he could accidentally mention this while out on business with his fancy new suit.
You definitely can pretty much guarantee that's going to happen.
Or if
That's
HG
for
and you,
sure.
Jeff, head back to the card establishment, you could start asking around if these rumors are true. Although we know they're not true, but then people would be talking about it. And then this explosion happens, and they blame whoever this bad fellow is. Whichever one is committing the most sin.
Committing the
Or,
most sin.
or actually, or better yet, we could put out rumors that there are several of the lieutenants that are, trying to make a move. That way, when it does happen, they're not sure which one to blame, so they start, looking at all of them.
Well, that's a good idea. Sheriff, that's a really good idea. At that point, perhaps we could offer our services as a neutral third party who, as we are not Chinese, we are a neutral party in this situation, and we could investigate, as it were.
We are a detective agency.
Oh, exactly. We could
HG.
perhaps then.
Official.
HG, you
I
realize
got a license and
they're
everything.
talking you into trying to sneak up and put a fucking bomb on the wall of this place or something.
You already mentioned burrowing and bombing.
He did.
It would be relatively easy, yes. I'm just not sure all that's
To be taking down the government just to find a guy. That's what Tim was like. You're gonna start a Cold War?
No, we're going to start a gang war.
I
Wait,
think you
why not?
guys are a little bit past being a gang at this point. Like, the law will not be on our side in the end.
Yeah, you guys met the law last week.
Yeah, HG does have a point. It could cause, Chan fan, and it could be, burned down or
pretty much
something.
got the impression that the law
Pretty
is
much worked
written-
for.
is written by those in power.
Yeah, that
The
marshal.
guy may be following the law, but the law is written by this fella up here on
That's
this
what I
hill
mean.
right here.
This
Look at
isn't
this
a
place.
gang war. This is a coup.
We ain't got no law friends here. All we got is us, that wall, and that big boy that I think can take 3 shotgun blasts to get him on his knees.
Perhaps in the morning we should meet with, try to get in to have a meeting with the TAM as, contractors, as, the Devil's Posse. If nothing else, just to get in, get a layout of the land, possibly where, Smythe might be, being held or something.
And the
Plant
process.
the idea of the, posse in Tam's head if we do go on with the other plan.
You do remember we also have badges too, right? Double posse badges at Timmons bought. It's a pocket watch.
Well, Jeb actually has 2 real badges, actually.
Yeah, but those are real. Those aren't going to do you no good here. You need something fake like mine. I mean, they're real, but that ain't the law.
But that is a good point because we could introduce ourselves as a potential neutral third party and
Why
private
do you think I got a new
investigation.
suit and figured out how to? We can send him a telegraph too. Say we coming.
That sounds like a good idea, and then we can see what we learn from this situation and make plans from there.
What's the worst they're gonna do? Kill us? Then we get into a fight and we run for the door like saving our life. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is we have a good lunch.
I do suppose this fellow has
Probably got good egg
food
rolls.
at his establishment. I hear they make a mighty good noodle. These triads. They have the private chefs.
I'll be right back.
So, I guess Timmons is going to ask, do we mention in the telegraph that we know about the artifact?
No, absolutely
That would
not.
definitely get
Not
us a
mentioned.
meeting with him.
Yeah, and it could also get us killed.
So maybe I shouldn't be typing this up.
Let's
Tim and
allow the
Taylor's a
Padre
paper
to
to
type this
somebody
one
else.
up. Yeah, let's let Padre write this one up.
You be the secretary today. He go. He pushes the papers over. Just telegraph him what we're doing, and try not to get no taco juice on my suit.
It's not Tuesday yet, Brand.
Taco Tuesdays.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
All right, so we will
4
mention
days.
how we are a neutral investigative service, that we have good references, such as Senor Chestnut.
And mention that we spoke with the marshal and his name, and he recommended that we speak to him directly.
All right, we can include that.
Did he though?
What's he going to send him a telegraph and ask him? We're going to see him in the morning.
We could at least say that perhaps he said about good things about this here Mr. Tam.
Needed the required paperwork. Something like that.
All right, so what telegraph are you sending to Tam?
Padre is writing it up.
Also, questioning around the gate, anybody that's there regularly, looking for somebody, asking questions if it costs us a few bribe dollars to talk to somebody, see if somebody's seen anybody coming and going that may fit the description of Pennington Smythe.
All right, so you're going to go back. Probably need your Chinese speakers. Now, don't forget, this place is kind of out in the country. I mean, it's outside the city proper anyway.
Right, but there's got to be a road that goes out that way that would be watched anytime anyone went
Sure.
down that road.
I
It
mean,
doesn't have to be
there's
the
a whole
front
stretch.
gate, but
That whole stretch of road right there.
yeah, but okay, so everything that goes up towards the house, or almost everything that goes up there, would be going down that road. Then we'll ask the guy that lives right there, and that warehouse guy, and that building guy.
Right. Okay. So you're going to go down there and do a little. There you go. So I need the Chinese-speaking people to give me.
Somebody needs to come with me that speaks orange.
Speaks what?
Mandarin orange.
Orange.
That's what it is. Mandarin orange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Orange.
Sure, that's it.
Come on, HG.
Oh,
You speak
take a walk
Mandarin
on
orange? One of you was yapping it.
I don't know if HG's cooking dinner or what. He keeps getting up and heading off in the other room. So I need the Chinese-speaking characters to give me the
Streetwise
roll.
rolls. You're making us roll a lot of
Let
streetwise
HG
rolls, and you
HG
just
know what to-
introduced it to the game last session. So that's how are we supposed to have a streetwise all of a sudden?
Because I also gave you guys the chance to advance last week. Remember?
I know. I haven't been in town enough to gain streetwise yet, but I guarantee you it's gonna happen after this session, or after we level. I'll take it streetwise.
That's a good point. We should get in advance after this session. Very, very smart idea there.
Level up. Level up.
So HG, they've decided that they want to do some investigating. You guys need to fill him in. He was in the kitchen or something. In the kitchen with Dinah.
Do you speak Chinese?
Yeah, I have Mandarin.
All right, come on. You're coming with us. We got to ask these fellas some questions. So we're going to go down to to the main road. There's a few structures, buildings, places of interest to the main road that leads up to the estate of Who Flung Ear, and ask them some questions. See if they've seen anyone that fits the description of Pennington Smythe coming and going down the street, or if they know anything of this Pennington Smythe. So H.G. Willis has got to translate for us. So we have to be sober. We give him coffee with no Kahlua.
All right, so HG and the father.
Did
Well,
that
you
street
think,
rifle.
Orange too?
Being sober will not increase my skill.
It'll probably make it worse.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mean sober. I just meant don't blow nothing up.
No, if he
Less
gets,
drunk.
if he got down below 0.10 blood, if he got down to 0.10 with legally drunk for anybody else, he'd be going through DTs.
And
He's
that
got it
is why
bad.
we
That's-
let him drive.
Doesn't that improve your Chinese though?
All right. Father Miguel, you gave me a streetwise roll. HG, you give me a streetwise roll.
Casa the big ear.
Luckily enough, with Father Miguel's, that is just enough to learn that no one has seen a British-looking chap with some kind of a hunter's cap on.
And broken glasses.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Your broken glasses is what Mr. Dillinger said, right?
No.
Well, as a fellow eyeglass wearer. Sorry, what was that?
I was say, have they happened to seen any groups of like Chinese people heading out, looking like they're packed up, ready to head out into the wilderness? They'd have been well armed.
Well geared, etc.
Maybe town guards. I'll spread a little money around if it helps.
I need to consult something here real quick.
I'm gonna go grab a drink.
The town guard in San Fran is called the Yakuza. Just making shit up. That's Japanese.
Did they mention that this fellow had glasses? Or has anyone mentioned that this Smythe fellow had glasses?
What do you mean? Mention it to who?
Well, in any of our conversations with either Dillinger or when you were talking to the Lacey person before, because I'm guessing that glasses are not very cheap at this point in time, and there are probably not very many people who can work on them in town, and thus we should see if there is some kind of eyeglass specialist who makes and repairs them in Champagne.
You think he might have the artifact?
Well, no, but he might know when the last time, if this fellow were getting ready to head out into the wilds, if he had some problem with his spectacles, he might need to get them repaired first so that he could see trouble.
What do you guys... Because of the portrait I put up for the guy, you think he's got broken fucking glasses? I'm not getting
No,
that connection.
just in general, Miguel, as a glasses wearer, knows that they're not, it's not like it is as easy to get as it is in modern day.
No,
Oh,
but
well, he doesn't
yes,
know that.
but spectacles, you
But
know,
how many
he's probably had them
glasses
fixed
shops-
by now.
But true, but how many are there in town? If there's only one guy, we could be like, hey, you know anything about this guy? And he's like, oh yeah, I fixed his glasses a couple weeks
We
ago,
don't know
or
shit
last
about
year.
that guy.
Oh, well.
Obviously, if this is a true picture of him, he doesn't get his glasses fixed because they broke